Right, and we are live. Hey guys, I'm Stuart from NetReady, and this is MLM for CEOs, the channel that is aimed at providing key insights to company owners operating within this lucrative multi-level marketing industry. In today's episode, we've got something a little bit different for you. We're going to be discussing the global MLM statistics. And here to help me unpack this information on those statistics is a man with over 35 years experience within this multi-level marketing industry. And his name is Richard Sletcher.
Good to be here again.
This is going to be a fun one.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
We love this industry. We've seen the trends that are happening globally. I mean, post-COVID, there's just been such an acceleration in the people that are adopting multi-level marketing, either as a secondary or even a primary income. I mean, it's just that lucrative for people if they do it right.
Yeah, and hopefully today we're not under so much pressure to get this thing out the door. Our last session was a bit pressured, if you ask me.
Well, do you know what? I think that for the company owners listening, time is limited. Keep saying time is the commodity, and just 20 minutes of time, I think it's enough for our people to go, okay, cool, we have that available in between meetings or in between going to wherever they need to go to. And I mean, we had 10 reasons why MLM.
2 minutes a reason. We were powering through that anyway.
So, yes, we have a lot more time today. Let's relax into it. But the first thing I actually want to discuss in terms of the statistics is this is a big industry. $186 billion retail sale industry per annum.
That's crazy, eh? You know, people think MLM and they think about some lady in some room smosing some product to some other lady.
Right.
And they don't realize that this is not only a massive industry, but the top companies are all listed on the stock exchange.
Sure.
You know?
Look at Avon.
Yeah, Avon is one of the biggest companies in the world.
Right.
Amway, also listed on the stock exchange.
Yeah.
I don't know what their stats are now, but I know that at some point they were doing like $11 billion a year.
Yeah. Don't worry, I've got them.
Oh, good. Excellent.
Just speaking about where MLM is growing geographically, you know, I'm going to rank the biggest nations to least, and I'm not going to go through all of them, but I'll go through maybe the top 4. But sitting at number 1 is America. They currently have 56 out of the top 100 MLM companies are situated or launched in the States.
In the USA, but they're operating globally.
Sure, yes, launched, yeah.
No.
Launched in the States. And that's 56% of those companies.
But the interesting thing is that if you have a look at those companies, for the most part, not all of their sales, or not even the majority of their sales, are coming from inside the US.
Right.
The majority of their sales come from outside the US.
Mm-hmm.
So they stationed there, they founded there, that's their base. But as they spread globally, that's where the majority of their sales are coming from.
Mm.
Yeah.
I wonder if most of the sales are, which regions around the world are adopting this. I know places like Malaysia are huge into the network marketing space.
Germany as well.
Germany is massive. You know, places like Korea, I've got Germany as our third runner.
Really? Third biggest.
Third biggest. And then China. So Germany is bigger than China in terms of the MLM space.
Is that a fact?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And I mean, just looking at someone like Malaysia, small country, you know, I think they were 6th or 7th on the list.
Really? Good heavens.
I mean, so there's a big play for companies to make their way into that region.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we obviously situated here in Africa and the Middle East, categorized. It makes up 1% of the total network marketing population.
This is Africa. Africa as a whole.
Yes. Now look at the size of the continent of Africa. Now we're dealing
and how
with
many people.
Right, but we are dealing with a number of struggles in terms of, you know, access to the internet and you know, the manufacturing of products. But 1%,
and the understanding of the people, they don't understand technology as well.
Yeah.
Well, there's 2 issues to bear in mind here. That Africa only has 1% of the market share at the moment, and it reminds me of the story about 2 guys who were sent to the desert to sell shoes. And the one guy wrote back and it says, I can't sell any shoes because nobody wears shoes here. And the other guy wrote back and says, send more shoes because nobody's got shoes here.
Nice.
And so,
very good.
So the opportunity in Africa is rich. So establishing your business in Africa, the opportunity for growth is massive because we're right on the ground floor. We're, in terms of MLM, today we are where the US was 40 or 50 years ago. So the companies who get in here and establish themselves here and who start to grow their businesses here have a real opportunity to penetrate this market and to make things happen. And I mean, that's one of the reasons why we're running the Ignition Plus program, is we're speaking to companies who want to push into Africa, and we're obviously setting up warehouses throughout Africa. We're setting up logistics operations and payment gateways and systems and handling all of the issues that first world countries don't even dream that they have to deal with. We're handling all of that stuff in Africa. So companies can come and talk to us, and we can actually establish their businesses within the African environment. So it's a huge part of what we're doing, and I believe that Africa has got real opportunity for growth. I think if you're talking about countries where you can experience the same growth as you experienced in the US 40 years ago, then the countries in Africa are where it's happening. South Africa, Botswana, Zambia, Namibia, Nigeria, Kenya, all of these countries, there's a lot of people and there's a real appetite for MLM.
Sure. You mentioned the African environment, and it's very different to a, let's call it an online or first world play with MLM, and there's a lot of cultural complexities that come with it. So you need someone that, if you're going to go into those regions, you need someone that understands how that country or those regions, territories operates.
Yeah, and there's technical problems as well. Like, for example, not everybody's got a bank account.
Yeah.
Now, when you're in the US or Europe, when you want to pay people commission, you can get onto a Payoneer or any of those kind of operations, and you can pay people commissions. Everybody's got a credit card. Everybody's got a bank account. Everybody's got a physical address. In Africa, you have a real problem with that because the guy lives in the little tin shack 3 miles from the windmill on the hole without water road.
Yeah.
You know, so the whole infrastructural side of things is completely different. It's very rural, and the people don't have bank accounts. You have to have different ways of dealing with them. They transact money on their phones. They use cell phones to transact money. They're pushing cell phone time backwards and forwards to transact with.
Yeah.
Companies like Zimbabwe have they use everybody else's currencies. They don't even use their own currencies.
Right.
So when you're operating in Africa, there is a whole different play happening, and you need to understand what's going on here to operate effectively here.
Yeah, we've obviously gone through a lot of learnings over the past.
Yes. We've paid some school fees.
Serious school fees. But it's great because we now understand the markets. You know, as we expand throughout Africa with Ignition Plus, you know, we are learning, and we have key people in place to help us understand what's the posture and the narrative and the culture is in those regions.
Well, we had a client of ours a few years ago from Australia who launched in Central Africa, and within about 8 months, his operation folded. And the reason it folded is that the people he got involved with in Africa took all his money. They stole him blind.
Wow.
They cleaned out his bank accounts. They cleaned him out. And it was because he was naive. He set his business up in a way you would set it up in Europe, where there's accountability and there's fiduciary duties that apply to everybody in the business. And if you do something like that, you'll end up in jail.
Yeah.
In Africa, if you do something like that, you'll end up a hero.
A rich hero.
Very rich hero. And it's very difficult to take action against the folks. You know, the guy cleaned him out, and that was that. He couldn't sue him.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
Guy got the money, business folded, end of business.
Yeah.
So you got to understand your way around what's happening here. Anyway.
Okay. Let's talk about the
topic here completely.
We did, but that was very interesting. So let's talk about the demographics within the space, and they've changed. I've seen the 22 stats, and they're obviously still developing as we come into the end of the year. But the male and female demographic has shifted over the past year. You know, it was 82% that was made up of female and couples, and it's the majority still is that. But I looked at the stats the other day, and it's 74% is women. A smaller percent, 6.5% is then couples. So they are the ladies or the couples that operate very well within the space. So it makes up about 80%, and the rest is gentlemen. So why is that?
I think it's mainly because of the product categories that are effective in the space. You've got your cosmetics and you've got your wellness products.
Yeah.
And generally, that is a much more female-centric product range. Cosmetics for sure.
Yeah.
And your health and wellness, the woman in the home, the matriarch, is generally responsible for people taking their vitamins and staying fit and the food and all of that kind of stuff. So I think that the products are very female-centric.
Yeah.
But there are companies that sell products that are much more male-centric, and they've got a predominantly male business. So you'll see in the insurance space, it's predominantly male. Companies like, there's a company that sells an additive for motor cars. You put it in your engine and it makes the engine run better.
Yeah.
That's predominantly men. So it also depends on the product range you're pushing, whether you're attracting mainly men or women. But because your two big silos are health and wellness and personal care,
yeah,
those attract predominantly women. So I think that is the reason. It's not that multi-level marketing as such is women heavy. It's that the products attract the ladies.
Okay. There's also been a bit of a shift in those categories. Health and wellness is by far the top performer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hey?
So,
well, you can imagine after the COVID story that health and wellness would be a big key point of interest now.
Yeah.
So that doesn't surprise me.
No, not at all. It's the same for me. So, I mean, it's just under 35% of the health and wellness owns 35% of the product categories globally.
Really?
And
Good heavens.
it's $64 billion.
That's insane.
So for people looking to get into which product should I push through the network, obviously you have to intrinsically love a health and wellness product, vitamins, supplements, weight loss, whatever it is. But this is a very lucrative product category to be in.
And weight loss is one of the big ones because we have a global obesity epidemic, and it's not, I promise you, there's nowhere more prevalent than Africa. We have an obesity problem in Africa because of the kind of food that we're eating, how much of it we're eating.
Yeah.
You know, it's packing on the pounds. And so the weight loss side of things is very, very lucrative in Africa. You obviously need a product that works. You want something good, affordable. But if you can get an affordable weight loss product, there's a huge market here in Africa.
Yeah. I mean, even first world countries, things like
America's.
But anti-anxiety, sleep deprivation, all of those, that just helps the psyche of the person to better themselves. And it's a struggle that most people are dealing with. And if you can have a product, a health and wellness categorized product to help these people, I mean, that's what will sell. And we always push the product first and foremost. Okay. Personal care, which was sitting at 32% the last time I looked, which was about a year and a bit ago, is now sitting on 24.5%. So it has dropped, but I think with COVID, post-COVID era, health and wellness is just outperforming.
Yeah.
But even at 24.5%, that's a $46.5 billion industry.
And that's predominantly female.
Sure.
Because it's the makeups and it's the skincare and it's all of those. Although I know that there's a lot more men nowadays using skincare products, but it's predominantly female, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
and again, I just want to point out here with that, the beauty of skincare products is that you can, if you put the right ingredients into it, you can make it at a very realistic price. And the selling price is not as sensitive because right now you can go out and buy La Mer at $1,000 for 50 mils, or you can buy something else for $5 for 50 mils.
Sure.
And how does that price get set? So it's all about your packaging and the image and everything.
Right. No, we're good.
We're good.
The third category, because I always get asked this question, which products perform well within the space? I have this product. Is it going to perform? And the third category is household goods. coming in at 16%
Yeah.
of total market share. Now, we always need cleaning products or products for the home or products for a factory or industrial space, wherever it is. You're going to a big retailer, but if there's another route that you can come in through network marketing, where Richard says, hey Stu, you must use these products to clean your home, I'm way more likely going to buy the products from you than going to to a shop.
Yeah, and on top of it, what you can do with direct selling cleaning products is you can up the quality radically. So you can make them a much more intense type of product. When you're going into the retail stores, the person's walking down the shelves and they're picking on price.
Yeah.
So there might be one or two cleaning detergents that have got very, very high brand awareness because of massive advertising. But for the most part, in order to compete, they have to be within the ballpark on the price. So what suffers is quality. You can only get the price down so low without sacrificing quality.
Yeah.
With the direct selling industry, you can make these products very, concentrated.
Yes.
So the person can buy 1 liter and by diluting it with water, make 20 or 30 liters of the product. And the reality is actually gain value for money, which they couldn't have got anywhere else. We've got this one client who's got this awesome cleaning product that, I mean, I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah.
But he could never sell that through retail.
Yeah.
Here he can sell it through MLM, and he can get his margins while providing an absolutely epic product.
Right.
So that's why the home care stuff really, really works. And then home care moves into sort of household goods like vacuum cleaners and that.
Sure.
And there where you've got a full-on demonstration where you can demonstrate the efficacy of the product.
Yeah.
And get a person to buy from you there and then. So that is why that whole category works so well.
So, and then the other categories that make up the rest are clothing, financial services, and home care, and that's 11.9%, 22 billion.
22 billion, eh?
$22 billion.
$22 billion.
That's just, those numbers are crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Insane.
Now, this is something that's quite interesting, and I'm sure you know it. I'm preaching here, but the top 2 performing compensation plans within multi-level marketing. The first one is the uni-level compensation plan. And yes, we have to do a deep dive on every business to see which plan suits them. But they've taken a whole bunch of companies and they've seen which companies are performing on what comp plan. And the uni-level comp plan is number 1, and a binary comp plan is number 2.
Isn't that ridiculous?
Crazy.
Huh? But obviously they don't work for every company. For example, if you were selling high-end items, a uni-level and neither uni-level or binary would work for that. You would need a stair-step breakaway for something like that. So it does depend on the products you're selling and what those products are doing and what kind of business, what kind of behavior you're trying to drive. So the compensation plans, obviously all of that comes into play. But both of those comp plans we obviously advocate quite vigorously because the uni level, everybody understands it, and it works really well, and it allows you to reward your leadership and your network. And the binary works very, very well for once-off types of products because you're building up volume and you can actually collect your volume on both legs and leverage your 2 legs to get paid out on everything that's happening. And we tend to see that a binary plan grows much faster than, for example, a uni level. Uni level is slower burn. Binary is like explosive growth.
Sure. Okay. I thought that was a very interesting stat.
Yeah. Amazing. Well, that's also something, when you said it to me, I'd never heard that stat before. No.
Yeah.
It's the first time.
Then the top performing companies within MLM globally. I mean, so I've got about 5 here that I want to list. But Amway is number 1.
Oh, is it number 1 now? It wasn't.
It's not number 1.
Used to be number 2. It's now number 1.
So Avon has dropped into 7th place.
7th. You're joking. We have to go and have a word with them.
We're going to have to. I know. But Amway is $8.9 billion per annum.
Wow.
That's what they're generating. I mean, it's
crazy
numbers. Then we've got Natura, then Fuhrwerk. I mean, they started.
Now, Fuhrwerk.
Yeah.
Fuhrwerk sells vacuum cleaners.
Right.
They come into your home and they demonstrate the vacuum cleaner and they pull so much dirt out of your home that you are compelled to buy their product.
Exactly.
And they're a German-based company, and that's why one of the big stats is that Germany's doing so well as Fuhrwerk. They're one of the big plays there. What is Forvac's turnover?
They are doing 4.6 billion.
$4.6 billion in vacuum cleaners.
Yeah.
That is ridiculous.
They have also been around since 1883.
Okay.
So they are the oldest, top performing company out there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They do incredible work.
And they make a great machine, by the way. So the machines are incredible.
Okay. Well, those are my global stats. That's a wrap.
Oh, excellent.
That was pretty cool.
Fun. Yeah.
I enjoyed that episode.
I learned a lot.
Yeah. Thank you. Guys, everyone out there, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you got some great insights out of these global stats and why this industry is so lucrative in terms of being able to produce the revenue for successful companies. We hope that you become a successful company on the back of the insights that we provide. And please follow us on all of our social platforms. We're both on LinkedIn and Facebook. We're also on YouTube, so subscribe to our channel, hit the bell for notifications each time content is uploaded. And if you're sitting in the car, jump on Spotify and listen to us through the radio. Thank you so much. See you next episode.